They all know me. They know how I'm a stubborn farmer and that I'm not going to let something like losing a foot stop me, even slow me down. Really, yeah, I'm almost 17,000 steps today.
All the animals have gone weirdly quiet to respect you.
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Lasagna. I'm like Garfield. Well, I like my wife's lasagna because, it's very saucy. So I just pasta, any pasta, but we get into the more the sauces, the red sauce, and the meat, mixed in. It's just very filling, very tasty.
What are your hobbies?
I'm surrounded by them. Yep. My son went to North Dakota State University, so he's looking for a summer job. That first summer, didn't really find anything. Later in that year, I actually saw a Craigslist ad for somebody that was getting out of the petting zoo business. Her husband was being deployed to Afghanistan for the war. She knew she couldn't do it on her own, so she was selling the animals and stuff. We did a business plan. We figured that first year we'd do maybe 20 events and grow it from there. First year we did 35, now we do 150. Managed chaos. Yep, it's all managed chaos. So, twice a day, morning chores. Everybody's got to get hay, feed in the mornings. Evening chores. Morning takes me about a half an hour. Evening takes about an hour and a half. That's every single day. It's a lot of coordination, organizing, schedules, timekeeping, making sure you're doing everything that needs to get done. And we've got to do vet checks and deworming and shots and all of that. So all of that is just on a schedule. They all very much have a personality. Some do really well, with the kids. Some are a little bit more skittish. And I mean, this guy is mostly retired at this point, but he loves to get scratched right here, on the withers. Some of them don't care. Taylor here, she likes to get scratched right on the top of the head, so they definitely have different personalities, all of them. We can go through and everybody's got a name. So right now we've got Spike. This one's Taylor Swift. I did not name her. Okay, she was named by a little 10-year-old girl. We've got Spice right here, Merlin over here. This is Timon. Pumbaa didn't want to come in, but we've got Timon and Pumbaa. We have Bonnie and Andy from Toy Story. We had Woody and, Buzz. Buzz is passed. Woody's still out here, but he's getting really old. So we like to have fun names. Lilo and Stitch, right? I brought Lilo and Stitch to a zoo today. So a lot of our animals have those kid-friendly names. Now, we also had Tom over here before, and sometimes they just have, boring names. One of my goats is named Red because he had a red tag in his ear.
Why is that one called Taylor Swift?
So, yeah, it was his family about 2 miles south of us where she was born, and they had 3 girls. At that time, it was probably a 10, 8, and 1-year-old. So, yeah, of course, the girls are going to name one of the goats Taylor Swift. So, no. She's not much of an actor, not much of a performer, but she loves the kids. So I actually work another regular full-time job. All of the PTO that I have from that job, I do petting zoos during that PTO.
Do the animals give you any PTO?
No.
What's it like to be able to do this with your wife?
Yeah, so she is my support staff. When I'm gone, Saturday I won't get home till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Evening chores still need to be done. So she covers the farm when I'm out with the zoo. She comes once in a while to a petting zoo as well, but with the dogs, house dogs and stuff, it's hard for us both to be gone for 10, 12 hours. So she's my rock at home. This is the life we have, so make the best of it. When people are in the petting zoo, they're always happy. For the most part. The fun part is just seeing, all that joy. So today we're at a daycare center, and, just the joy those kids have when they come in, pet the animals, everywhere from they call them the tweens, right? They're not toddlers, but they're not little kids yet. They're, young 3-year-olds. just those kids, just the fun that they have, the joy, just, petting the animals, scratching them. That's the fun that we have. Yep, before this guy here. So 35 years ago, I had testicular cancer. And part of the treatment for the cancer was radiation therapy. I got radiation in my midsection, in my torso, to make sure that there were no cancerous cells growing. And 35 years ago, the radiation therapy wasn't as good as it is today. And that therapy basically damaged my spine, my spinal cord, cooked my spine. We learned about this about 15 years later when I started having neuropathy in my feet, real bad, tingling, burning sensations. Went through all sorts of tests and everything, and learned that I was losing sensation in my feet. One day, working on the farm, up in the workshop, I stepped on a nail. And I got a nail in the bottom of my foot, and I didn't know it. I walked on it for probably all day. That ended up getting infected. Eventually, we had to cut off a toe. Then we had to cut off a second toe after that never healed. Got another ulcer, got infected from out here, right? Ended up with a transmetatarsal amputation. That was my first full, big amputation, was they took all the toes on the, front half of my foot. Well, once that happened, the mechanics of my foot and doing all this just couldn't hold up, right? So I'd be doing something, I'd go in, take my socks off, and half my foot came with it the one time. Whole bottom of my foot came off because I got in a huge blister, didn't know it, couldn't feel it. We battled with that then a year and a half before I got yet another bone infection. So every time they had to do an amputation, it was because the infection got in the bone. Finally, I was in Las Vegas for a trade show, started feeling sick, went to the emergency room, told them exactly, here's what's happening, I'm getting septic, I need these antibiotics. And they said, well, we really need to send you in for an MRI. I said, no, I'm going home. Went home, got the MRI. The doctor called me Sunday morning. The doctor called me and said, you need to go to the ER right now. I said, well, I can't, I'm on my way to a petting zoo. She said, well, when you get home, because she knew me by that point, she said, you need to go to the ER and, get checked in. And 2 days later, they cut the foot off because so much bone infection at that point. The doctor said we could do a salvage surgery. What am I gonna have left? An ankle and no toe bones, right? Said, no, let's just cut it off. And by that point, I had already been dealing with limb lab. I'd been dealing with, the doctor, prosthetic doctor, for all of the AFOs. I had a boot that I was wearing. I had 3 or 4 different boots to try and heal those ulcers over 10 years. I was wearing an AFO. And finally I said, I'm done, just cut it off. I'm not fighting with this anymore. And it was limb lab and the doctor that said, you're gonna do better with, with a prosthetic than you're going to do with trying to keep doing these surgeries on your foot. And they were right, absolutely right. The folks that lose them in an accident, they don't know it's coming. I can't imagine how hard that is. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming for several years, just based on what kept going on with my foot. At some point, we're gonna cut this off. I mean, ask my wife, I would say that for years. Yeah, at some point, I'm just gonna have to cut this damn thing off. I had the choice of cutting off my foot or having this salvage surgery to try and save something, that I wouldn't be able to walk on normally, or I could let the infection take me. Okay, that was an easy decision. I had read enough and I had talked to the prosthetist enough, talked to the doctor enough, talked to my chiropractor enough, and they all know me. They know how I'm a stubborn farmer and that I'm not gonna let something like losing a foot stop me, even slow me down. Really, I'm 16, almost 17,000 steps today. Once I was recovered and had my prosthetic, The day I got my prosthetic, I walked out of the prosthetist office without my crutches. Nobody does that. Well, I'm going to. Here, you can have my crutches, I don't need them anymore. And I walked out to the car. So that's maybe the stubborn German in me, but having those boots and having that relationship and all of those inserts, the toe inserts for my shoes, I've been working with them for years. And again, that was conversation with Kyle prior to the amputation. Kyle's like, let's get you into a full prosthetic. You'll do better than what you're doing with these AFO boots. The thing with Limb Lab is they listened to what I want my life to be. They didn't say you're gonna have to stop farming, you're gonna have to stop, caring for these crazy goats. They didn't say that, you need to sell the horses, you need to sell the farm, you need to sell the petting zoo. They said, what do we need to do to get you to where you want to be? I'm a big guy. I'm 300 pounds, and a lot of orthotics are not built for 300-pound guys, right? That are as active as I am. When I'm carrying 2 5-gallon buckets or jugs of water, that's another 80 pounds on top of that. I need a prosthetic that can hold up to 400 pounds, right? Not 300. What's out there? What can I even use? And Limb Lab went out and found the manufacturer of this foot, right? Found the guy that is bench pressing 600 pounds with this foot, and really found that hardware that's going to work for me, not trying to push me into something else. I think the big thing with Limb Lab, hi guys, was really the listening and the understanding and the acknowledgement of this is your life that we're trying to make better, not here's what we think you should do. If I hadn't had that relationship and that listening and here's what we're going to find for you, here's the foot we're going to put you in, and this is why, I would have gone somewhere else. It's my life. I'm going to make the decisions of how I'm going to live it. And I mean, this is just another piece of hardware in all of the hardware that I use every day, right? My side-by-side is a tool that I use. The buckets for the feed is a tool that I use. The prosthetic is a tool that I use to get around and take care of these animals.
What are you most grateful for in life?
Just the technology that's there. The fact that, 100 years ago, this prosthetic would be a whole lot different, right? I wouldn't have had the rotator. I wouldn't have had the foot that can handle 400 pounds.
How important is your independence to you?
It's everything. I'm a stubborn German farmer. I don't rely on anybody, except my wife. I got, all of this is me. So, that's everything. And I just deal with it. High spike. This doesn't change anything, okay? Your life is on a trajectory. Follow the trajectory. Do what you want to do. You want to go skiing? Go skiing. You want to go snowboarding? Go snowboarding, right? You want to skydive or climb roofs and fix roofs? Doesn't matter. You can do it with a prosthetic. This doesn't change anything. It doesn't have to change your life if you don't let it, right? That's absolutely mindset. It's all an attitude, right? You get up and you choose your attitude. Know what you want to do with your life. Know who you want to be. Know how you want the world to remember you. I've been in Boy Scouts for 50 years. And, those 12 points of the Scout Oath and Law, trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent, those values that you hold, whatever they are, make them mean something. Make them help the world. Don't make it about you. Make it about the people that you're helping.
How do you want to be remembered?
Just that, that I brought some joy into the world. All of the animals and everything that they've brought joy into the world, and me sharing them with the world just brings that joy. You know, I've got kids that year over year, oh, I remember, you know, last year you brought, I mean, today, oh, I remember last year you brought big chickens. And this year we've got little chickens, right? The kids just make that connection with the animals. In the 20 minutes that they're there, they remember for years. Look at how we've modeled the behavior with the animals and with the people that come into our petting zoo, right? We do it with kindness. We do it with, you know, with joy, with a little bit of angst once in a while when they're misbehaving. Just spreading that positive energy in the world, right? There's too much negativity, too many naysayers, you know. Let's enjoy these moments where, you know, puppies are being puppies, goats are being goats, you know, sheep, alpacas, llamas, whatever. And, you know, let's spend time enjoying life and not being angry all the time. Hi, Ben.
So yeah, if that friend asks you that question.
Yeah, we're walking in a circle that we're falling in a world that we're wandering. I'm wondering. Yeah, we're walking in a circle that we're